It was early morning. Soft sunlight was streaming through the windows, and a shoe rack stood near the front door. Mr. Khanna was standing by the door, repeatedly checking his watch. He was already dressed in his shirt, while his tie was still hanging loosely around his neck. On the other side, Ramesh was sitting on the floor near the shoe rack. A tin of shoe polish and a cloth were placed in front of him. Just then, his phone rang once, but he immediately silenced it. Mr. Khanna angrily asked Ramesh why his shoes were still not ready. He reminded him that he had asked him to prepare the shoes 20 minutes earlier. Ramesh explained that he had been clearing the breakfast table, and then Biddu had started crying upstairs, so Memsahib had called him there. But Mr. Khanna refused to listen to the whole explanation. He said he did not want to hear any story. He only wanted his shoes. Ramesh immediately started polishing the shoes, but Mr. Khanna sarcastically remarked that he could have started, right now, 20 minutes earlier. Ramesh began polishing the shoes quickly. His hands were moving fast, but he was still working carefully. Mr. Khanna pulled out a chair and sat across from him. He kept checking the time. Then he said that all he had asked for was 5 minutes. Was 5 minutes really such a difficult amount of time? Ramesh said that 5 minutes was not difficult, but he had been delayed because of several tasks. Mr. Khanna angrily said that Ramesh was always late. Sometimes it was the gate, sometimes the water tank, and today it was the baby crying. Ramesh tried to explain that all of those had been real responsibilities and that he was not making excuses, but Mr. Khanna dismissed what he said. He told Ramesh that everything was a real problem to him, while his meeting was at 9 and he was sitting there in his socks. Ramesh picked up the second shoe and began polishing it with even more pressure. His shoulders had become tense, but he continued working silently. A car horn sounded from the street outside. Mr. Khanna began telling Ramesh about his father's house. He said that the workers there never needed to be told something twice. Once was enough for them to understand that the household ran according to time, not according to their convenience. Ramesh quietly said that he understood, but Mr. Khanna asked that if he really understood, then why did it not look that way? To him, it seemed that Ramesh worked according to his own schedule and expected Mr. Khanna to arrange his morning around him. In a slightly restrained voice, Ramesh said that before this week, he had never been late preparing Mr. Khanna's shoes. But Mr. Khanna replied that one good week could not erase the mistake of this week. Ramesh's hand stopped for a moment. A slight expression of frustration appeared on his face, but he composed himself and continued polishing the shoe. Mr. Khanna tried to explain how it would look if he went to the office wearing dirty or dull shoes. People would say that Mr. Khanna could not even manage his own house properly, so how could he manage a department? Ramesh quietly said that they were just shoes after all. Mr. Khanna became angry at that as well and said that nothing was ever just anything to Ramesh. According to him, small things became big because people did not take small things seriously. Ramesh quietly muttered, almost to himself, that he was serious enough to have been sitting there since 7 in the morning. Mr. Khanna immediately asked what he had said. Ramesh lowered his eyes and said that it was nothing and that the work was almost finished. A few moments later, he gave the shoes one final polish and placed them neatly side by side. Then he turned them toward Mr. Khanna and told him that the shoes were ready. Mr. Khanna picked up the shoes and held them in the light to examine their shine. The shoes were indeed clean and perfectly polished, but he did not say a single word to Ramesh. He silently put them on. After putting on his shoes, he gave Ramesh one final warning. Next time, 5 minutes had to mean 5 minutes, not 20. He said that he did not have the patience to wait like this every morning. Ramesh simply replied, "Yes, sir." Mr. Khanna stood up, straightened his tie, and walked out the door without looking back. Ramesh remained there on his knees for a while. He silently stared at the door through which his employer had just walked out. Then he slowly closed the tin of shoe polish. The exhaustion on his face was obvious, along with the resentment he had been keeping buried inside. But he said nothing. He simply remained there in silence. Sometimes a person's silence is not a sign of weakness. It is simply a sign that they have endured more than they can say.